What's going on, guys? It's your boy Beats by Ash, back at it again with another banger of a video. And if you saw my last community post, I ended up getting to do my first One Piece local stream in a very long time, so I was super excited to do that. Unfortunately, my phone didn't stream in the quality that I would like, but nonetheless, I still wanted to upload this even though it's only going to be 720. Hopefully my narration skills can just carry the video and you can get some enjoyment out of this. But we're going to be going over one specific game in this tournament where I played against Katakuri. I'm just going to be narrating over this, giving you that play-by-play action that everybody wants to see. So without further ado, let's get into the goo. I'm going to be on the play, looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and put down a turn 1 Izo and use the effect to search here. Obviously, Izo is the best searcher in our deck outside of Buggy, and we're going to go ahead and decide to pick up the Haruta here. I really like Haruta in this matchup and in general because it allows us to be proactive while developing the board and create an attack without having to rest our characters early. One of the big keys in this matchup is not resting your characters early so that your opponent can't get value out of their leader ability, hitting for that 7k confirmed kill every single turn. Our opponent's gonna go ahead and drop down the Charlotte Pudding and search here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of glare here, but it looks like he's gonna go ahead and grab a Charlotte Brulee, and he's gonna go ahead and pass it back to us. I'm finally going to figure out that I need to put Haruta in my hand because that is a card I did search, and we're gonna be back on 3 Dawn here. We're gonna go ahead and tap 1, put down the Buggy. Go ahead and get that free search. Anytime you hit with Buggy, you just win the game because the way I built the deck, you're not supposed to hit with Buggy, but if you do, it's just even more win more. And we end up getting the Rad Beam, which is, just the best thing that we could get. I mean, honestly, when you access Rad Beam, your chances to win should increase tenfold. And then we're gonna go ahead and slam down the Haruta here, activating the effect, attaching to our leader, and swinging 6 on the very first turn we can attack. Our opponents can go ahead and take the first damage here, and no trigger, lucky for us. Very interesting. I think most of the time I always block the first damage, but maybe he didn't have a 2k counter, didn't want to use 2 resources there. And it looks like he did top deck a 2k there. No, he already had a 2k in hand, so he just wanted to take the first damage. Very interesting. And he's going to go ahead and turn his leader sideways. We're going to go ahead and take the damage. As you see, by the way I play a lot, I actually take the first 2 damage about 90% of the time, and then he's going to go ahead and throw down the 4-cost 5k Sanji blocker there. I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn, and we are on 5 Dawn, hoping to get that juicy Marco on the board. Looks like, unfortunately, we do not have the Marco, but we will throw down the Izo and try to find one for the following turn. And we end up failing the search here. Very unfortunate for us. Now, we'll go ahead and use the effect of Haruta, putting our leader to 6k. And then we're going to go ahead and attach 1 to Buggy so we can start swinging for 5 here. As you can see, the incremental advantage from Haruta really adds up if you're able to get that on the board in the beginning of the game. And our opponents can go ahead and counter out with that Brulee that they searched. We're going to go ahead and Dawn up once again and swing 5 one more time here. Really like to attack for minimal numbers in the early and mid portions of the game, considering our opponent usually plays a lot of 2Ks and they're more than likely going to be aggressively countering out of these attacks just so that they can get to that pivotal 10 Dawn Big Mom turn, and especially because he has already taken 1 damage thus far. And he's going to go ahead and counter out with another Brulee here. We're going to go ahead and tap our last 2 remaining Dawn so we can drop down the Brook, activating the effect, putting that on the Izo, swing for 5 one more time. He's gonna go ahead and give us the Strusen, and now we can swing 6 with our leader here. So we got quite a few cards out of our opponent's hand this turn, which is really, really good for us. My main goal with this deck is to occupy 5 3k characters on the board as fast as possible, and if we do that, I feel like your chances to win in this matchup are super, super high. I've won multiple games with our opponent hitting multiple triggers in the life, and he's gonna go ahead and kill our Buggy there. No reason to defend that. It's gonna require too many resources. Offers the gentleman trade on our Izo here, and we're gonna go ahead and let that die as well. And then he's gonna go ahead and kill our Haruta, clearing up the board for us. And then drop down the 5-cost 7k Randolph. Man, it is so nice to have a searchable 5-cost 7k for that deck, and also the fact you don't need to buy the Yamato starter deck in order to play this deck anymore. Starter decks have really just been a dud so far, in my opinion. But hopefully that 3 captains deck gives you a lot more value for your dollar. And we're going to go ahead and Dawn up our leader here, as is the standard Zoro play. Go ahead and swing 6 at his Sanji, get that off the board. Considering he's low on cards here, it's very likely we're going to get to remove that this turn. And then we're going to go ahead and offer back the gentleman's trade on his 2000 power searcher. Go ahead and tap 1, play our third Ezo of this game, and we finally end up finding one of our key Marcos in this matchup here, you know, just a little bit too late, but better late than never. And then we're going to go ahead and tap one more Dawn, play down the new 1-cost 3K Sanji. Really liking the addition of the new 1-cost 3Ks, allowing us to max out on those, and then tapping out for the new inclusion to the deck, Marshall D. Teach, a card that I have been surprisingly happy with, you know, with the addition of having 6 total 1-cost 3K vanillas here. Even if our opponent Katakuri's Marshall D. Teach, that's completely fine. Our opponent is foregoing developing more than one character on the board, and the only thing he can attack here is our rested Ezo, which we are inclined to replace anyway, considering we got some good cards in our hand. He's going to go ahead and remove that with his leader, and then he's going to go ahead and swing with his Randolph. We'll obviously take the second hit here. We need to get more cards in our hand. We're in no danger of dying anytime soon, especially since he's going to play down a Katakuri and put that Teach back to the top of our life. And we end up getting a guard point here, so pretty good draw for us. We're going to go ahead and attach 1 to our leader once again, and then Dawn up our Brook so we can start swinging for 5 at his leader. No real reason to contest his Randolph. It's going to require too many resources. He's going to go ahead and trigger a Shirahoshi in the life, allowing him to Graceful Charity here. And then he's going to go ahead and discard another copy of Shirahoshi as well as a Parasparrow. We're going to go ahead and Dawn up our Sanji here and go ahead and swing 5 one more time. He's going to go ahead and counter out of that with the big homie Parasparrow this time. We've got a total of 6 Dawn left here. Usually what I'm thinking at this point is, how can I most efficiently occupy 5 spots on the board so that I'm maximizing my ability to populate the board faster than our opponent? And we're going to go ahead and swing 6 here at our opponent's leader. I think he's down to like 3 cards. He's going to go ahead and take the damage, and no trigger, so really good for us. And then we can go ahead and drop down the Makino, boosting our other Ezo, giving us another 5K attack, leaving us 5 Dawn remaining to be able to tap out for the Marco here. So super Dawn efficient play, getting rid of that Shirahoshi just in case he has another Katakuri to put that Shirahoshi back in the life, which in my opinion is one of the most oppressive plays you can do in Katakuri itself. Looking pretty good for us here, considering we're always going to have our leader and our Marco on the board for the following turn. Minimum 2 attacks on the following turn here, while our opponent's down to 1 life, and we're at 4, so we are in no danger of dying anytime soon. He's going to go ahead and rest his leader, killing down our Makino here. And then Randolph is going to go ahead and take out Sanji, just letting my friend read Marshall D. Teach here. And then he's going to go ahead and rest his Katakuri, killing our Brook. And then he's going to slam down the big mama herself, not allowing me to use my new tech option, Marshall D. Teach, at all. And that's completely fine for us because we're exerting enough pressure, and I don't think that he's going to be able to kill us in the following turn. Really good that we picked up that guard point off the draw a couple turns ago here. And we're going to go ahead and drop down the Buggy. Buggy! And Buggy hits once again. You gotta love to see it. Go ahead and grab that alternate art Fire Fist. One of my favorite arts from that set. We've got all the Dawn in the world here, so most likely gonna get a couple attacks going through here. We're gonna go ahead and put 2 Dawn on our leader, swing for 7, demanding 2 cards from our opponent here. And he's gonna go ahead and take it, 2 resource intensive, but he does trigger the Capone Gang Beige, so Marco will no longer be able to attack this turn. A little unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I don't think it's gonna stop us from taking down this game. Our opponent is just too low on resources to protect themselves, and I don't think we can die on the following turn since he gave us back that additional life. We're gonna go ahead and Dawn up our Ezo here. Since our Marco can no longer attack, I'm gonna be given the opportunity to play with more Dawn on our other characters this turn. And we're going to go ahead and swing for 9 here so we can guarantee that hit on our opponent's leader. Putting him down to 0 is really pivotal for us because if he does not have a blocker, we're going to be in really strong shape to end up with lethal next turn. And we're also leaving ourselves up with 1 Dawn so that we can use that guard point or that Rad Beam. So there's almost no way our opponent can kill us this turn. And he's going to go ahead and slam the second Big Mom off the top here. I don't really think that that's going to put him in a good enough position to go for lethal here. Considering he doesn't have any Dawn available to boost up his characters or his leader, he's not going to be able to get through 3 attacks here with the amount of defensive cards we have in our hand. He's going to go ahead and swing for 7 with Randolph here. He really just has to go for it, considering on the following turn we probably just kill him on the crackback. And we're going to go ahead and take this life. It doesn't really matter what we block, considering we do have that Rad Beam. And he's going to go ahead and swing with that Katakuri here. Most likely, we're going to go ahead and drop down the Rad Beam, mitigating that damage. And that's what we end up doing. Drop down Rad Beam, negate his 8 attack Katakuri here, and then now he's just left with his Big Mom. And we're going to go ahead and take that less damage from the Big Mom here. He's going to go ahead and pass back to us with no Dawn active, realistically no way to defend himself, and we're coming through with a total of 4 potential attacks this turn. We're going to go ahead and attach 1 to our leader here, as is the standard per Zoro. Now, the order in which we attack this turn really matters as to not give away any unnecessary information to our opponent about what modifiers we might have in our hand. We're going to go ahead and attack for 7 here. We're going to go ahead and drop down 2 cards on that. And then we're going to go ahead and swing with the Marco here for 7 once again. And he's going to go ahead and use a 2K and as well a 1K to mitigate that Marco there. And then we're going to go ahead and swing 8 with our leader. And as you can see, I've set myself up really nice for a sequence here where we can attach 2 to our buggy. We're going to use our last Dawn to play down the Makino, and then that's going to give us a 9K swing to confirm this lethal here. Doesn't look like he had any more counter in his hand, and that's going to be the game. Very close one for sure, but our sequencing definitely came into play there, making sure that we had lethal on that pivotal turn. If you have any questions about certain plays or different strategies against certain matchups with the Zoro deck, make sure to let me know down below in the comments. And as always, if it's not the goo, it's got to go. Peace.
Ooh, is that indigo?